Good afternoon and welcome to Joy News Today. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra, and also live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125. Coming up this afternoon, hundreds of NPP members, opposition party leaders and their supporters pour onto the streets of Accra demanding the immediate reinstatement of suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
We no go sit down, madam cheating us every day. We no go sit down, madam cheating us every day.
Also, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin urges staff of Judicial Service to begin a sit-down strike in solidarity.
Let your conscience prick you so that you would also be the next to protest and do a sit-down strike, because it has happened before.
And still to come in this bulletin, the Electricity Company of Ghana is investigating a fire that broke out at its Achimota bulk supply point, which led to widespread power outages across parts of Accra.
This morning, we'll carry out with another investigation just to analyze what we've identified yesterday.
Still on power, and if your power goes out during rainfall, the ECG says it may take some time before the issue is resolved.
And our network we are constructing is actually not meeting demands. And you know the illegal connections in town, they go to do things without ECG approval, creating a lot of problems for us. We are on the ground anyway.
And as well in this bulletin, lessons from victims of the Dome Market fires who are recovering gradually from their losses. They appeal to government to fulfill its age-old financial promise to help them bounce back fully.
I sell children and unisex clothing. I had 4 bales of clothes I hadn't even opened. Everything got burnt. I didn't even pick a single shirt.
Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us this afternoon. Now first, hundreds of supporters from some opposition political parties took to the streets of Accra demanding the reinstatement of suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. Led by the New Patriotic Party, the protesters argue that the process to remove the Chief Justice is politically motivated and that her suspension is unconstitutional. Justice Torkornoo is currently on indefinite suspension following a prima facie case determined by President John Mahama and the Council of State, after 3 separate petitions were submitted calling for her removal.
The next cannot move here from the frontage of the Supreme Court, and they will use the NLA section. What we have also seen here vibrantly is the number of police personnel that are on grounds that will be helping assisting these demonstrators to move from here in Accra or the Jonathan Mills High Street all the way to the presidency. So I mean, why does it have to come to a demonstration for you?
Well, it is one of the, let me say, instruments available to us when it comes to safeguarding our democracy and our constitution, for that matter. We would write, we would speak, we would want to write petitions and everything, but ultimately, when you can tell that there's some adamance on the part of the executive, then you have no choice but to get your people together and then hit the streets using a very democratic tool like this to be able to express our viewpoints. Whatever happens, we understand the fact that the executive is politicized, Parliament is a political institution, but the judiciary is our last frontier. That's where we all draw our safety. So if we have come to the point where we think and can tell that our democracy, or the judiciary for that matter, who is our protection, is under threat, then it is important that we come together and send a strong signal to government.
We will not agree, we will not allow John Mahama and the NDC to meddle with the affairs of the judiciary. We must make sure that we protect our democracy and we protect the judiciary to...
But Mama says it's been fair.
Who has been fair? Who? What shows the fair? Where lies the fairness? When at the goal, he nominated 7 people to the Supreme Court. Where was his fair?
But last year, the Chief Justice herself, who is now embattled, also nominated some people.
Is it not Mahama who said they should cap the judiciary? You came at the background that the judiciary should be capped. Why have you now increased the nomination?
You just heard from some supporters of the MPP who also explaining why individually they've decided to join this. And at the heart of it is that they don't trust the processes that have been triggered. They don't think that it's going to be fair against Justice Gertrude Tokono, and think that ultimately this is all part of a bigger plan to just simply remove her based on evidence that does not exist.
No, we won't. We won't. We will resist
How is he destroying the nation when it's a legal process?
No, we know the judiciary is a dictator. We know the judiciary is a dictator.
I think that's not fair to him.
It's a fair.
It's not fair to him because that's not fair to him.
Mahama is a dictator.
No, that is not fair to John Dramani Mahama. So
the judiciary still remains an arm of government. Yeah. Which should be an independent. We've politicized the executive. The legislature is also politicized. Do we also want to politicize the judiciary?
There's a crowd, a raging crowd, just outside the main gates of the Supreme Court here. The gates currently are closed, but leadership of the MPP and the allied groups are here, waiting for an audience. Well, I don't know what exactly they are waiting for and who exactly they are waiting for to come from inside the Supreme Court complex to come and meet them. But they've told us that they have a petition that they want to submit to the judicial arm of government, and they are waiting for their turn as it starts now. We can listen into the activities on the front of this particular demonstration.
Let us unite to abhor the great and strong. We are all, we are all, we are all.
Still on the demonstration, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who led the march to the Supreme Court to present a petition, has also urged staff of the Judicial Service to embark on a sit-down strike in protest of the suspension.
Every staff, every member of the judiciary must read this and let your conscience prick you so that you would also be the next to protest and do a sit-down strike, because it has happened before when Georgina Wood came under attack. Jusak rose to her defense. The Judges and Magistrates Association rose to her defense, and that stopped the Ataman's government. The time again has come for you, the judiciary, to rise. Don't be comfortable because it is Tokonu. Don't be comfortable because you have your own grievances, because you also have a party interest, because the attack is benefiting you. No. Be with that attitude of touch one, touch all. Rather, pray that a fair system is created for all to benefit. We say to the judiciary, your first duty is the Constitution, not to this government, not to any president, not to any party. You owe an allegiance to the Republic and its people. In these trying times, we do not ask you to take sides. We ask you to stand fair, to stand for justice, stand for Ghana, and know this, you are not alone. We stand with you, and will not falter until judicial independence is restored and protected always. Let history record that in the darkest of times, we did not cower to the whims of a despotic ruler and its government in a democratic attack.
I'll now take you to the grounds where my colleague Adubia Asari is stationed along the protest route. Adubia, I know that just before the bulletin, the NPP and other persons who are interested in this demonstration had just presented their petition. From the Supreme Court, they went to the Parliament House, and we understand that they are en route to the seat of government, the presidency. Bring us update.
So like you rightly said, we went to the Supreme Court first, and then so we conveyed first, the protesters conveyed first at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum forecourt, and then we moved to the Supreme Court where there was a little bit of tension, a little bit of chaos, because according to them, communication didn't go down well. But that was quickly resolved, and then we walked all the way from the Supreme Court to the Parliament House of Ghana, and from the Parliament House, where the petition was submitted by the Minority Leader Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin, we moved from the Parliament House, and then we are here currently at the office of the presidency. We are at the Jubilee House, where the leaders of the New Patriotic Party, along with the allies with whom they came together to stage this demonstration, are yet to submit the petition to the office of the presidency. We are expecting that a representative will come and receive the petition on behalf of the president. Now, people were here for this demonstration as early as 4:30 a.m. and they've stuck with the supporters and the leaders of the party up to this point, and you can tell that they are still energetic. As you can see, they are not ready to back down. Generally, it's been quite peaceful. We've not recorded any chaos, we've not recorded any violence. You can tell that the people, even though are very unhappy about the suspension of the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, are still, you know, having some sense of peace. They are protesting, but they are not doing anything very chaotic, and that's commendable. But for now, the representative has not yet come to receive the petition, and you can see, in short, the big wigs of the MPP are here. I see so many members of parliament from the minority side. I have seen Honorable Emmanuel Tobin. He happens to be the member of parliament for the Honorable Emmanuel Tobin is the member of parliament for Anyasotium constituency. Ahmed Shaib is also here. He is member of parliament for the Wejagbawe constituency. Among many other big wigs, Henry Nana Boakye is here. So many big wigs of the MPP are here. So many supporters are here. The policemen are also doing very well to keep everything and everyone under control. Of course, there'll be a few people who will be, you know, nuisances. They'll try to be the thorn of the flesh of the policemen, but because there are not many, the police still has that under control. But if one thing I must say on the side, it may be a minor thing, but it's something that I've observed, that all the stops we made, after we left those places, there was a lot of rubbish there. For some strange reason, this has been going on for years now, but it was quite unfortunate. People have gone to leave rubbish in front of the Supreme Court. People have gone to leave rubbish in front of the Parliament House. I just hope they don't come and leave rubbish at the Jubilee House. But, okay, there seems to be a little bit of, okay, that's Nana B in short. They're trying to get in the barricade. They're trying to get, okay. It's a bit people. That's the leader of the LPG Kofi Akpaloo. That's Liberal People's Party. Right. So the leaders of the MPP are supposed to come in the barricade, but it looks like some supporters want to find their way through as well. It's been happening at the various stops, but I think the police is doing a good job by keeping all of this under control. Yes, so as you can see, that's what is going on currently. The demonstration ends at the Jubilee House. From here, when the petition is received and everything is peaceful, I'm sure everybody will go back to their homes or to their normal duties. That's Alexander Afenyo-Markin in short. He's also entered the barricade. This is supposed to be a smooth process. I don't know why. Unfortunately, we are still in this primitive behavior of trying to get in where you know you're not supposed to get in. So that's going on. That's what's going on now. Some people are having some exchanges with the police, and that's not supposed to happen. But yeah, so according to the police, they are not supposed to force their way in. You know, some people, because they are affiliated with the leaders of the party, they believe they are also leaders of the party, and that's what is going on now. So stay behind the barricade is the instruction, but for some strange reason, they still want to come into the barricade, and that's what's going on now. The police is trying to stop them from getting into the barricade. The place is choked, so my colleague Papa Nia Shale, who is supposed to be in here with me, is unfortunately out there. He's unable to get in because of some of these things going on. Yeah, no, now it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. No, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse in this place. This is not what is supposed to be happening. Only a few leaders are to enter, and I think the police is finding it difficult now. The police is finding it difficult now to keep the people under control. They're finding it a bit difficult. They're finding it a bit difficult, but it looks like it's getting better. It's getting better now. Yeah. So as you can see, they are still here in their numbers, showing their support. They are in solidarity with the leaders of the MPP, who say the suspension of the Chief Justice is politically motivated. That is what they've been saying since she was suspended in April 2025. That's the 22nd day of April 2025. Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo was suspended following some petitions received by the presidency, who then formed a committee to probe the issues. But for now, she's not Chief Justice of the judicial system. She's not head of the judicial system, and that is why we are here today. People are gathered to protest against her suspension. So, Mefa, that is what is going on currently in this place.
See that there's a bit of calm that's been restored, and I want to understand, Arabia, if you can hear me, what role is
so
the
that's
leadership?
Alexander,
right.
Alexander Afenyo-Markin. He's submitting the petition now. He's submitting a permit me, because not too tall. I'm not in the scene, but my cameraman is doing a very good job by elevating his camera for us to get the right shots. So I am giving my commentary from behind him, and that's okay. So that's Kofi Akpaloo in short. Henry Nanabuache is here. Alexander Afenyo-Markin is behind. Those are the petitions they are holding in the brown envelope. We are following closely. We are still following closely. That's Alexander Afenyo-Markin gracefully walking with, should I say, entourage to submit the petition to the presidency. We are still here at the premises of the Jubilee House, where a representative is expected to receive the petition to undo the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. I spoke to some people earlier, and they were saying it's unconstitutional, amongst other things, but just for education purposes, the president acted, he's mandated to do the suspension under the Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. When he receives petitions and it's a prima facie case, he can suspend. And that's exactly what he's done. But so many people seem not to, they have their diverse opinions, and people have different understanding of the whole issue. And that is why we are here today. So we are still in short. We are still here, moving from one place to another, but still in the premises.
Well, while we try to connect to my colleague Adubia, who's been bringing us an update of what's happening exactly at the seat of government, the presidency precisely. If you just joined us, we're bringing you the live coverage of the Save the Judiciary demo, which been organized by the NPP and other parties who believe that the suspension of the Chief Justice is unconstitutional. Many have also held their own views that this is just an attempt by the NDC to orchestrate a certain third-term agenda. and as well orchestrate where every party or the change of every government would have a new Chief Justice. This among many other things where the NPP is marching to register their displeasure through a petition. They went through 3 routes. The third one as well, we're bringing you live coverage. We've been bringing you live coverage from the first one, the Supreme Court, and then later they marched to the Parliament House where the Clerk of Parliament received that petition on behalf of the Speaker as well. And finally, the last stop, which is the presidency, is what you see on your screens now. It started with a bit of chaos with party supporters and persons who are not authorized to go beyond a certain barricade, but decided to. But currently, my colleague Michael Ashale would bring us update exactly what's happening beyond what you see on your screen. And that's why we'll try and connect with Papani Michael Ashale to bring us on ground, particularly what's happening. But I'll take you there now.
Be 3 petitions to the 3 arms of government, the judiciary, the legislature, and then finally to the presidency. And that is
challenges, and then Michael Ashele will bring us update. But on your screen, you can see that the NPP and other affiliates are also getting ready to submit the final petition to the presidency. We can listen in now.
So you can see that
on your screen now is the march happening. We've been bringing you that live coverage from morning all through till now, which started from the Supreme Court all through to the Parliament House and currently at the seat of government, and hoping to submit the final petition to the president or whoever will represent the president or, the executive arm of government, as the intention is to submit their displeasure to all 3 arms of government. The judiciary itself, which they marched to the Supreme Court, Parliament, legislature as the second one, and finally the executive arm of government, the presidency, where they would be presenting their petition as well. All through, you may have seen the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, leading the petition and reading out the content of the petition at any point that they get to. But my colleague Michael Ashale is still on standby and will bring us details on ground. Yes, I can hear you. Papani, please go on. There seemed to be some order, and looks like we have somebody from the presidency who will be taking delivery of this petition. You can also see Richard Ahiagba in your screen, cladded in red, and has been part of this march since morning. As well, you see the minority leader who has been the one presenting officially the petitions to all 3 arms of government, and in your short as well, the leader of the LPG, Kofi Akpaloo, as well in short. And we'll try and take back again, and Michael will bring us update.
Billy House that are here, led by Stan Dogbe himself, and then Richard Ahiagba is trying to, as the mediator between these 2 groups, the protesters and then government here. So yes, you hear from Ahiagba now.
Political parties who are demonstrating today to indicate to our President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that we're not happy about his incursion on the judiciary. We think that our judiciary should be left independent, and today we are here with our leader and supporting crew of our coalition. We have LPG here, we have NDP, we have LPG, and we have PNP and the New Patriotic Party. We are working in tandem with the masses of Ghana to make sure that our president hears what our petition is, and we hope that through you, we can deliver that petition. We have a lot of people. I won't be able to introduce everybody, but we have our national organizer here, Henry Nana Boachi is here. We have our General Secretary, Justin Kodia Frimpong is here. We have our Deputy Speaker, Deputy Minority Leader, Madam Patricia Piaget. We have the leader of LPG, Kofi Akpalu, is here. We have Madam Janet Nabila is here, of PNP is here. And we have the General Secretary of LPG. The leader of NDP is also here. Mohamed Frimpong is right here. And the cast of our leaders are here to present this petition and through you to reach His Excellency the President. Minority Leader, His Excellency, Honorable Afenyo-Markin will present our petition to you. But if you first of all will introduce yourselves, then we can carry on.
My name is Stan Dogbe. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff Operations.
Okay. And maybe the other...
Currently, Stan Dogbe is introducing himself to the delegation from the protesters that are here at the moment, and they'll present the petition shortly. So we are going to hear from Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin.
Honorable, I should come forward. First, Honorable Deputy Chief of Staff, on behalf of demonstrators, let me say a big thank you for being present to receive our petition for and on behalf of the President. As you are well aware, there are some disturbing matters in the country regarding governance that we are not happy about. We believe that in a democracy, the way to do it is through a peaceful conduct like we have embarked upon and to register our protests. We started with the Judiciary, where we presented a petition, the same petition to the Judicial Secretary for onward transmission to the Judicial Council. We went to Parliament. The clerk to Parliament received us on behalf of the Speaker. We expect that the petition will be brought to the House floor once the House resumes for deliberation. And finally, to the principal actor himself. We believe that what is happening is not good for us. There must be an end to this issue of you do me, I do you. There must be an end to retaliatory politics. In Ghana today, all of us as political actors have a story to tell. Where do we end the vicious cycle? It is not yielding to the whims of hawks and hardliners in our respective political parties that will make us better political leaders. We believe that the hawks must be pushed back onto the fringes so that the centrists can take the center stage for the good of our country. In today's era of social media, you cannot control what gets onto the streets, and this democracy must be protected and safeguarded. So, my respected brother and friend, this is to you. The language is very respectful and decent and expresses our views because we know we are addressing the President. We hope that it shall receive the needed support for the Chief Justice to go back to her office and do her work. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
We just heard from the Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin. We're now here from Stan Dogbe, representing government.
Here in the office of the President, and on behalf of the President, I'm delighted to receive the petition from the coalition and it will be duly presented to the Chief of Staff for the attention of the President. Let me say that we are happy that your process started this morning and has ended very peacefully. That in itself is a very strong message about the democracy that President Mahama wants to instill in our dear country. If it were the case like this over the past 8 years, I'm sure that the retaliatory politics that you talk about wouldn't have been the case. You referencing retaliatory politics is an admission that the 8 years of President Akufo-Addo and Mahama Bawumia were not the best for this country. You can be assured, however, that President Mahama, as every Ghanaian knows, is not that politician. President Mahama does not believe in retaliatory politics.
He's described as, you know, too much of a father for all kind of presidents, and everybody knows that. Whatever actions that are being taken now, whatever decisions that are being taken now, as everybody knows, is in line with the provisions of our 1992 Constitution. Indeed, before President Akufo-Addo left the presidency, he himself had started a certain process where issues were brought to him about the Chief Justice, and he referred them to the Council of State. And that is what President Mahama has done. It is not about retaliating on something that was done by the previous administration against President Mahama or the NDC. So the process that is ongoing is constitutional, and I do believe that if the committee that has been set, you know, completes its work, whatever decisions that they make, just as the Council of State's advice to the President was binding on him, it will be binding on him. I can assure you and the people of Ghana that we appreciate the fact that just as government, you know, ensured that you went about your demonstration peacefully, there was one also last weekend, you know, peacefully without any attempt at preventing you from expressing yourselves. We will continue to allow for that peaceful expression of ourselves in this country under President Mahama. Nobody is going to inhibit or stop anybody from going that. That should tell you that President Mahama, in less than 120 days, has demonstrated how he is going to save the democracy of Ghana. He is going to grow the democracy of this country, and we are going to be together. We will work together. We will work together with you and all the political parties, and your petition will be given the due response. I thank you very much, my brother.
So you just heard from Standogbe receiving the petition on behalf of the presidency, and minority leader just shook hands also with him here. But you heard in the last paragraph that although they've submitted a petition, they are hoping that government will read, digest, and then give them a favorable response. You heard some sort of response from Standogbe to the effect that, well, they believe in the processes that they have started and hope that the processes will vindicate. The process will start and end. Let me quickly ask Richard Anhiagba, who is here with us. Richard, you sort of gotten a response from presidency already, right?
Well, that's a response, is a premature response. We want them to go and study the petition. We're clear that our democracy is under attack. What we heard from my good brother Stan is a political response that just did that and deliberate on it. As leader said, the language is respectful. We've been very clear in our demands that the president should take his hands off the judiciary, allow them to be independent. They are co-equal branch of government. They cannot be subject to the executive. That's a simple message we're saying.
But effectively, the response to you that the process that you are against, that they have triggered, is that it's going to be fair.
The only thing you hear we haven't told him is that this is not about the law. This is about politics. Okay, the law is clear. It's been discussed. It's been written. It's there. But there are politics that decides to exploit the law. Is what we're saying. They have premeditated ideas to remove the Chief Justice, go on to remove the EC, and then sponsor a certain interpretation of the Constitution to allow for the president to run for a second term. That's what we're saying.
Where's that notion from that? Where's that notion from that John Dramani Mahama wants to run for another term apart from this one?
If you haven't figured that out yet, then you are not actively in the media. You need to read the room. When the president comes, remove the judiciary, pack the court, then you know what is up to. So certainly read the room.
I'm grateful. So the General Secretary, JFK, is also here.
To receive the petition, not to respond to the petition. If he wanted to give it to him or he wanted to address him, he's not the president of Ghana. So whatever he said is neither here nor there. We are taking the pinch of salt. The person to respond to the petition is His Excellency the President. He's the one who was voted for, not Standubi.
But he gave you a response about this process. They believe they are triggered that you are against. It's going to be fair to Chief Justice get to talk about.
Then it does not lie in his bosom to make that pronouncement.
So who are you expecting to respond?
We're expecting the President. The petition is addressed to the President of the Republic of Ghana, not Standubi. Who knows Standubi? We didn't vote for Standubi. It's the President that we voted for. And at the end of the day, it is important that the substance in the petition is what the President should pay attention to. We don't need to set a bad precedent in this country. Okay. We don't need to. At the end of the day, we are respectful of rule of law. We are governed by...
Finally, do you have how many days you want them to respond?
Well, at the end of the day, we are expecting the President to, as soon as possible, address the concern.
1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 2 weeks?
Well, we are expecting the President. If within a reasonable time it does not address, you will hear from us again.
All right, sure. So you just heard from the General Secretary of the MPP, Justin Frimpong Kodia, responding directly to Standobe and the commentary you heard from Standobe after receiving the petition. Just in the last seconds before Standobe concluded, they had some members of the MPP shouting that, Massa, are you the President? We address this petition to the President.
My colleague Michael Papani Asale bringing us everything that's happened so far during this demonstration. And you may have also seen the Chief of Staff in charge of operations taking delivery of that petition from the NPP and other persons who are interested in this matter, and also indicating that, of course, the petition will be forwarded to the President, while the leadership of the NPP are not quite amused that it was him that received the petition and some comments that he may have passed. He also acknowledged that it was quite a peaceful one, which we all have also acknowledged. But thank you for staying with us. We've been bringing you all the updates so far, and we still will bring you every fallout from that demonstration. But still, on News Today, I'll bring you this one before maybe we wrap a little later. The Ministry of National Security has launched an investigation into the alleged forceful takeover of a licensed underground small-scale mining site at Akatasheso in the Adanse North District. Armed men reportedly acting on the instruction of National Security are said to have stormed the mine, driven out illegal workers, and taken control of private equipment belonging to licensed owner. According to Joy News editor and environmental journalist Erastus Asaridonko, the site, previously commended by a government committee for its organized and responsible mining practices, has now been under occupation by individuals wielding pump-action guns for several days. Erastus Asaridonko joins us on the line with more details. Erastus, thank you for joining us and holding all this while. Tell us more about this mine and how exactly the alleged takeover unfolded.
So this mine was registered in 2020 per the documents I have seen by the Minerals Commission as a small-scale mining entity under the name Chichiwere Youth Association. Now, they've been doing hard rock underground mining for some time now, since 2020. Now, 4 days ago, we got information that persons who believed to be national security operatives have taken over the mine, driven away the owner and the workers, and they themselves are in there mining. In fact, the chief of the area called me and wanted us to look into it. In fact, after a number of checks, I called the regional security liaison officer, Wan Mohammed Jabari, and he told me that, yes, he ordered the securing, that's the word he used, securing of that mine, and he got his instructions from above. And I asked him to submit the person who instructed him to do so, his contact. I called this person, who also identified himself as the man in charge of operations, national security. And he said that he has not given any such orders, and that what he sent the soldiers to do on the ground was to arrest the situation at Akokere, an adjoining town, some kilometers away from Akatachiso, where the incident occurred. And so he's not aware, and he has not given anybody any orders to secure any mine. And so it's been that back and forth that the regional security liaison officer claims that he secured the place. But then there are armed people armed with pump-action guns, who are mining the facility And so I tried to find out from him why a facility that has been secured by national security is now being mined. Plants are on and underground operations are going on. So that is the situation with that particular area.
I know that you broke the story a little earlier in the day, but up until now, have you had any new developments, especially for the person who identified himself as the national security operation? Has he reverted any action so far?
He has not gotten back to me since then. I have heard that from certain sources that they have initiated investigations into it, and that those investigations are ongoing.
Also, this person who said that he was securing the mine, sorry, we've lost Erastus, but of course, we'll get Erastus at some point again, and we'll bring you details of this story. Up until 10, we're unable to bring you new developments, but that's it so far. And still on mining or gold, some sort, Gold Board in an ex-post has confirmed Ghana has reached a deal with 9 more mining companies to purchase 20% of the country's gold production. The move is aiming to consolidate a gold purchase program meant to boost the country's gold reserves and stabilize Ghana's cedis. The companies are Golden Team Mining Company Limited, Akroma Gold Limited, Adamus Resources Limited, Cardinal Namdini Mining Limited, Goldstone Akrokeri Limited, L International Group Limited, Extra Gold Mining Limited, Prestia Sankofa Gold Limited, and Ganhi Mining Resource Development Limited. And Prince Kwame Minka is the Media Relations Officer of the Ghana Gold Board and joins us via Zoom. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Do walk us through what this new agreement with the 9 mining companies entail and how it will strengthen the gold reserve program.
Just as you've in the intro, this is all aimed at, becoming a part of our grand scheme of ensuring that we're able to maximize on the gold in terms of national benefits. Maximize national benefits in terms of the gold that is mined in our country. So this is to give anyone an idea that we are not just focusing on the small-scale miners, but also with some large-scale mining companies beginning to express interest, and even going on ahead to vote 20% of the gold that they mine in the country to contribute to our work. It should give anyone the assurance that Gold Board is here and basically for the interests of our good country, Ghana. Ultimately, if we're able to export these gold and the needed dollars coming to the Ghanaian system, we'll be able to shore up our city. And that has always been our prime focus, really.
Well, one of the things that I'm thinking about, and I'm certain that audience or viewers would also be thinking about, is accountability and transparency. What measures are you putting in place to at least show us that there's some level of accountability and transparency?
Well, in terms of accountability and transparency, most of the activities and events that are associated with Gold Board are either issued to the public through press statements. When you go on our website, everything that has got to do with our policies, our objects, our functions, and key events that we do are all published on our website, which is goldboard.gov.gh. And you can take into consideration the process that people are going through in applying for license as that example of transparency and accountability. The human interface has been reduced as you only need to go on the website and apply for your license. That in itself is our way of showing to the public, the Ghanaian public, that in terms of transparency and accountability, it is something that we are keen on. So our press releases, what we publish on our website, goldboard.gov.gh, and then reporting to our supervising ministry, which is the Ministry for Finance.
Right.
And subsequently, the finance minister also reporting to the good people of Ghana through Ghana's parliament, will be our way of accounting to the people of Ghana. Right,
Mr. Minka, before I let you go, so we have 9. Are we looking forward to more of these companies as well applying, and then also you granting them licenses?
Well, just like you and I, we're all expecting that a lot more will get to join. And that is our ultimate goal, that would eventually capture the gold trading sector in Ghana, because we are that body that is intending to monopolize the industry so that we can be able to streamline gold trading activities in our country. So yes, let's look forward to.
I recall that I almost let you go, but this is quite important. And quickly before I let you go, what's the update on the deadline for all small-scale mining companies and gold dealers to reapply for licenses?
Okay, so quite recently we did a press conference, and I spoke to Elton about that on the pulse, and we indicated that we've extended the deadline to the 21st of May. And so for those who have not been able to apply, they can still do that now by going on the Gold Board website, goldboard.gov.gh, and apply for the various licenses that we are issuing at this particular moment. There are other licenses that we intend issuing in July, but for now, we're focusing on the aggregator license, the self-financing aggregator license, the buyer license tier 1, and the buyer license tier 2. These are the licenses that we are issuing out at the moment. Again, and for the foreigners who are to migrate or to exit the market, what's an update on that? Okay, so as we speak, no foreigner is supposed to play any role in the local gold trading market. If you're caught, the law will deal with you. Right. The only avenue for a foreigner is for you to directly offtake gold from the Gold Board. When I talk about offtake, what I mean is that you can directly buy gold from the Gold Board. We can as well help you export the gold. So there's no way you can do trading in gold, either buying or selling, without involving Gold Board. But if a foreigner is caught buying directly from a local miner or even a buyer, the law will hold you. Jamaica, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon. You're watching News Today. Please stay for business. You're still watching News Today, and I'll now take you back to the demonstration ground where the minority leader is addressing the media.
As a shadow, once more, as a Mahama returned with vengeance in his heart and fear as a serpent. Let us.
I'll bring you an update of what's been happening so far since morning, or since 5 a.m. when the demonstration started. And it's nearly closing with the minority leader addressing the media. And whilst we fix our technical challenge to bring you that message that he has for the media or the people of Ghana, or perhaps the people that were following him, here's what has been happening so far. So the NPP and other affiliates are quite unhappy with the suspension of Ghana's Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. And so far, I have also instructed or requested that the president recall her back from the suspension. But I'll take you back to the ground again where the minority leader is addressing the media.
But selected to serve his diabolical agenda. He wishes to fashion a judiciary in his image, subservient, pliant, loyal to party above law. It is no coincidence that His Excellency titled his memoir, My First Coup d'etat. And what is unfolding in our democratic institutions appear to be the second. But the judiciary is not his only target. Since returning to power, Mahama has embarked on a sweeping purge of the public and civil service. Hundreds of hardworking Ghanaians, professionals who have served government of all stripes with dignity and skill, have been dismissed without cause or hounded into false resignation. Their only crime was refusing to wear NDC's colors and submit to its whims. This is a direct assault on the principle of neutrality in our public administration. It is a betrayal of the values enshrined in our constitution, merit, on the Chief Justice were not enough. President Mahama plans to turn his diabolic sight on the Electoral Commission. We hear NDC operatives already out there without shame calling for the removal of the EC chair. We will not agree. They speak of accountability, but who do they think they are misleading? The Attorney General he has become a perfect reflection. The president himself, who boldly vowed to sanction any appointee who failed to comply with the constitutional mandate to declare asset before assuming public office, has so far failed to sanction these officials who breached.
We apologize for the technical challenge we're facing in bringing you that speech by the Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin. But that would be a wrap of the entire walk or the march or a sum of the petitions that they may have submitted to the three arms of government, the Supreme Court, which will be for the Judiciary, Parliament for the Legislature, and as well the final stop, which was the final one that was showing you the seat of government, the executive arm of government, which was represented by Standogbe, the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations. And we definitely will bring you fallout of all of that speech and many other things that you may have missed on the Joy News channel. Better still, you can log on to myjoyonline.com, where we shall bring you text of every speech that was delivered, which we're unable to bring to you because of the technical challenge right here on TV. My name is Emefa Akosi Adeti, and you really want to stay with us here on the Joy News channel for more.